We're in the middle of winter in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, so sit back, relax, rug up, and make sure you sip on that latte of yours, because it's time for EFL TV. All thanks to Ferntree, Gully, Holden and HSV, where driving and local footy means a great deal. Yes, another massive edition of EFL TV. Week 11 upcoming in the Eastern Football League, and we're all over it right here on the program. Peter Baird joins me as always. Frosty, let's get stuck into Division 1 straight away. And we were out for EFL game day at Roval and Lilydale on the weekend, and what a magnificent victory by the Hawks in the end as we have a look at the Division 1 ladder. There's only one game between Roval and Lilydale now, between 5th and 6th spot. Lilydale, maybe they just thought we had this 5th spot all thing wrapped up, but Roval certainly proved that they're not going to be easy beats come the second half of the season.
It was a quintessential 8-point game on the weekend, Ben. Roval win, they narrow the gap back to one game. They lose, Lilydale extend a 3-game break on Roval, sitting in 6th spot outside that top 5. It was so important for the Hawks to win. They set themselves for the game, and they were fantastic. Right from the opening bounce, they really made a statement. They ran away with the game in the end. Lilydale came, they challenged them hard in the late part of the third quarter and early part of the final quarter, but Roval, to their credit, they held on. They showed they're a real contender now for that 5th spot in Division 1.
Almost a miracle goal of Ashraf to put this one through. Ashraf, oh, don't tell me Ashraf Davies! And he points to the caravan as well. What a kick from Ashraf.
Let's get stuck into the Division 2 ladder, Frosty. And can you believe it? There's no 0 in the loss column for Montrose. They suffered their first loss on the weekend, and what a ripping win it was for the Mooroolbark Footy Club. They were the first team to knock off Montrose. What kind of confidence will that give them, not only for the rest of the season, but particularly heading into this big game against North Ringwood on the weekend?
It's a huge shot in the arm for Mooroolbark. I think I said a couple of weeks ago, if it bleeds, it can be killed. Maybe Brett Fisher, I was talking about Balwyn at the time, but maybe Brett Fisher and his Mooroolbark team, they applied that to Montrose, because on the weekend they showed that Montrose perhaps aren't invincible as we may have thought. And that win, that'll give them a lot of confidence. They've got a big game this weekend. They can possibly go a game clear of North Ringwood and really make a statement to try and secure that double spot in Division 2. I think you need to finish in that double spot chance to play in the grand final. So for Mooroolbark, this is a huge game this weekend. Things only get harder from here on in, because if they beat Montrose last week, now they're coming up against another challenger in North Ringwood.
Frosty, let's have a look at the Division 3 ladder. Continues to just tighten up. It's not going anywhere. There's going to be plenty of teams vying for spots in that top 5. One of those teams who might be vying for a double chance, in fact, is Wantirna South, who are the talk of the town in Division 3 at the moment, no doubt about that one. And Braden Ingram headed out to Walker Reserve on Tuesday night to catch up with inspirational skipper Andrew Teakel.
Thanks, Ben. Andrew, great win on the weekend. Templestowe, 120 points. Were you almost a bit surprised? I mean, you lost them by 3 points over the year, and you just came out and blitzed them probably after quarter time.
Yeah, look, we did play well, mate. I mean, the first quarter was obviously a close game. They're up probably the first half of it, so it was looking like it was going to be a tight match, but then we sort of kicked away in that second and then kept rolling on after that.
Is that the best you played all year?
I think so, yeah. I think as a team, as far as team footy goes, probably the best we played. No one really got beaten on the day, so it's what you want when you come into a game.
Now, 8 wins, 2 losses. Your only 2 losses were Tempe and Mitcham. So, I mean, you've got to be pretty happy with that. Would you take that at the start of the year?
Look, if you said coming off the Queen's birthday, you can be in 6 and 2. We'll probably be happy with that. Win the next 2 after that's a pretty good start, I reckon.
Now, what do you feel, and what's Clarkey also identified that you just need to work on a little bit to match it with those 2 top teams in Mitcham and Doncaster?
Yeah, I think when we played Doncaster last time, they sort of showed us they're a pretty tough team as far as at the footy, hard at it. Same with Mitcham, actually, because Mitcham knocked us off. The way they beat us is probably in the midfield. So I think as far as those 2 teams, it's really going to be a big midfield battle, which takes like in the ruck and stuff like that. They've both got big ruckmen as well, which makes it obviously a lot harder as a midfielder to get the footy first.
Now, you've kicked 11 goals this season. Must be nice to get down there and kick it. And you kicked a bag of 5, I think. So you've done all right this season so far.
So I got a sneaky 5 against Warren. I did junk time goals. I think I spoke to you guys that day as well about it. But no, it is good, mate, to kick a few goals. I haven't done it much in my senior footy before this, so it's nice to actually get it through for the middle. It's good.
Now, Ringwood this week, probably a couple of weeks ago, may have seemed like an easy game, but they fought back and after the siren win from Trent Farmer, got them up. So they'll be up and about in a big game for you to just consolidate that place in the top 3.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I mean, last year they knocked us off pretty convincingly over at their ground on a big ground. Hopefully coming over here we might have the bit of advantage of a smaller ground, play some good sort of contested top footy and hopefully roll on from that as well.
Now, I just want to ask you how you guys are going in terms of just injuries and getting a full squad out there. Have you got that at the moment?
As close as you can probably get. I mean, Michael Jamison's still a few weeks away with his knee injury. The good thing about our club is our twos have been good for a number of years now. Even when they first were struggling in second division, they have been strong. They made finals for the last sort of 3-4 years before that as well. So we've got the depth there to actually move forward with, and blokes are getting a bit older now in the twos. So it's probably pretty strong as far as the whole squad goes.
Well, Andy, thanks very much for joining us here on EFL TV, and good luck for this week and the rest of the season.
Let's have a look at the Division 4 ladder, Peter Baird, and we see there Park Orchards just starting to slowly creep their way up that ladder. A good win against the Eastern Lions on the weekend, their second win against the Lions in 2013. Are there any chance of being involved in the Division 4 final series this year?
Well, they are a chance, Ben, but their destiny's in their own hands. For the remainder of the year, they play majority of teams above them on the ladder. If they win those games, they're a huge chance of playing in finals. I don't like their chances. It's going to be a tough run home. Probably the only game they can really pencil in as a certain win is round 18 against Canterbury. So they're going to have their work cut out for them. But if they make finals, they've deserved their spot and they won't be able to be taken lightly.
A big weekend for the Eastern Footy League out at Dandenong on Saturday, Frosty, as our 2 Division 1 Interleague teams, our under-14s and under-15s, came away with championships, with premierships at the AFL Victoria Junior Interleague Championships. And Andy Paolaci was all over it, and he caught up with both coaches and both captains of the respective sides.
You had a great, strong start today, but at the end you did really play a 4-quarter effort. What was the main focus of today's game?
The main focus was to play full 4 quarters of footy. I mean, we knew we had to do that. We weren't quite sure what South Metro were like. I mean, obviously winning their pool, they were going to be pretty strong, and we had to come and play a brand of footy that was pretty tough and intense, and we did that for the full 4 quarters, which is great.
Now, you had a real team effort today, but we'd like to get a few favourites from you other than Jed himself. Who did you think was really crucial in today's victory for you?
Well, I think they all contributed. I think there's Tom North in the middle was fantastic. Jed had a great game. The 2 Walkden twins from Croydon were fantastic. Down back, we've got a back 6 that all of them were, contribute. And Riley Constantino was another one. Cooper Ratton in the ruck. So, basically everyone did something, and that's what put us in a position to win the game of footy.
Also with us today is Jed O'Sullivan, the victorious captain of the EFL side. Now, Jed, great win today. Where do you think the game was won?
Just through the middle, getting it out, and our key defenders, they did well. Forward line, they kick goals. That's how you win.
Yep. Definitely indeed. Now, tell us about the experience of obviously being selected for the Interleague team and coming through to eventually becoming the victorious captain today.
Well, it's a great pleasure to be here as well, and just coming through, playing all the games under Billy, great coach, and under Paul. It's just a great experience. Can't get any better.
Awesome. And how's the experience been leading the boys? Obviously, being selected as captain as well must be an incredible honour. How'd you go about that in leading them today to what was a memorable win?
Just nothing really. All the boys out there, leaders in their own way. Just got to direct them a bit and tell them where to go.
I'll start with you, Wayne. Congratulations today. Brilliant performance. Where do you think the match was won?
Oh, look, I think it was our tackle pressure and intensity, which had been, a hallmark of what the boys had shown right from, the first game. And, again, I think the stats show that, we won that the tackle count, and it starts from that hardness at the contest, and the boys were terrific in that regard today.
Have you enjoyed the experience of leading the boys to victory, right from selection all the way through to the win today?
Oh, look, it's a terrific privilege to be part of the Interleague experience with the EFL. The EFL are sensational in supporting the carnival and getting behind both the players and those of us who are fortunate enough to work with them. So, look, you enjoy the experience regardless of the outcome, and just winning this just is the icing on the cake. And as I said before to the boys, just really proud of their efforts. So, fantastic.
Absolutely. And, what kind of experience and pathways does it give to the players and, obviously prospering with future careers as footballers?
Yeah, well, look, this is the first start in what's known as the talented player pathway identified by the AFL, and clearly the ability of our boys to play well in the grand final holds them in really good stead. And you would hope that there were the TAC Cup people were out there observing the boys, and that the next step for these boys is to be identified in those squads, and then go on and hopefully play TAC Cup footy, and then down the track we might see a few of them running out in AFL, which would be a terrific buzz to know that you were part of that pathway that those boys were on.
And definitely, and one of those guys was the captain, Jack Maybaum. Now, Jack, fantastic victory today. Where did you see the difference in just getting over the line over South Metro?
I'm not really sure. We had good forward line pressure and good tackling around the ground. And I really think it was the tackles that stuck, and I reckon that was one of the main parts of winning.
Awesome. Now, you formed some fantastic friendships over the way, no doubt. You must take away more from this than just a grand final victory.
Yeah, you really get close with your teammates. It's a good experience. Like, you play with people that you're normally rivals with at club footy, and you come together as a team with all the best players, and you all become friends and you know everyone. So, yeah.
Righto, Frosty. It's half time here on EFL TV. And we're introducing a new segment, going a little bit left of centre, and we're going towards, well, not exactly the players, but the better halves of players. Matty Van Der Arkus caught up with the better half of Ryan McMahon.
Alrighty, I'm Maddie Van Der Arkus, and we're here on the Better Halftime Show, and I'm here with Ryan McMahon's wife, George McMahon. Now, how is Ryan he did play for Port Melbourne before, and now he is at the Balwyn Footy Club. How is he different from there to now at home?
Well, obviously the work commitment in terms of the workload of footy training and whatnot's a lot less, so I certainly prefer it. His personality is the same. He certainly doesn't put any less that it's the EFL. He puts his all in, so there's no change in that department, but the workload does make a difference around the home front.
And how is he around the house? How is he with the kids and with yourself? Do you sometimes feel like you're married to football, or is it not the case?
I feel like I'm married to his work and footy. No, it's probably not the case. I enjoy it, actually. It's good to get the kids out and go down there on a Saturday, and I love the Balwyn Footy Oval. It's got a great park for the kids, so I do feel like I'm married to footy a little bit, but it has its benefits as well.
Definitely. And how is he around the house? Any bad or funny habits we'd like to know about?
He's bloody hopeless around the house. Habits... He doesn't do a lot, so I couldn't say there are any habits. No, in all seriousness, he's not too bad with the kids now they're grown up, not too good with newborns. Around the house, he likes to do a bit of gardening, but he doesn't do any housework whatsoever, no cooking, no shopping, nothing. So, mixed bag there.
Now, he's known as Shooter around the boys at the footy club. Does he have another nickname at home, or does he go by that as well?
No, pretty boring. I just call him plain old Ryan. We met when we were in high school, and I seem to call people what I met them as, and I met him as Ryan, so it's just Ryan.
Definitely, and high school sweethearts then. No?
We're not. We got together when we were 24, but we've known each other for a long time, so we were mates. For 15 years or so prior to getting together.
Lovely. Now, he is probably known as one of the best players, I suggest, in Division 1 footy in the EFL. How is it watching him on a Saturday? Do you kind of, shudder when he gets tackled as your heart's can beat, or are you kind of like, just rolls with it?
Well, I'm certainly used to it now. I watch with his mum and dad normally, and his mum does cringe a little bit. We both do, actually. I think he's had almost 20 concussions over the years. But yeah, it's certainly not nice to watch when he gets injured. But I am sort of conditioned to it a little bit as well.
Do you spend a lot of time around the Balwyn Footy Club, or is it sort of more that's Ryan's bit and then I'm sort of more at home?
Yeah, no, I try to get involved as much as possible. I was more involved down at Port. Obviously we didn't have kids then, and we've got 2 little kids and 1 on the way. So it has been hard the last year and a half down at Balwyn, but I've loved it. You know, I love staying for a drink after the match if I can, and go to as many functions as we possibly can. Ryan goes to all of them and I tag along when I can, but it is different with kids. I certainly enjoyed it more when we didn't have the kids, but I still like it on a different level now.
Definitely. Now you've got the 3rd one on the way. Do you think he'll pitch in a bit more when this one comes along, or?
I think Ryan's just begging that it's a boy. We've got 2 girls, and he was pretty disappointed when they were both girls, so he's just hanging for a boy. And no, he would love to have a boy to play footy. His dad was a very good footy player for Fitzroy, and so I'm sure he'd love to continue on the McMahon tradition.
Now, is there any sort of secrets or anything juicy that you can tell us about Ryan that the boys at the footy club will probably give him a bit of stick for?
I think he used to he used to tip his hair. I mean, if people knew that about him now, they'd say, what? He certainly takes more time getting dressed than what I do. Yeah, and he probably loves himself a little bit. But that's about as much stick, or about as much as I'm willing to reveal on camera.
Thank you so much, George. It's been a pleasure for your handshake. And that has been the Better Time Half Show here with Maddie Vantarakis and Georgina McMahon.
Time for our favourite part of EFL TV, the EFL TV Play of the Week. 3 good nominations last week, but this man from the East Ringwood Football Club was the deserving winner. Congratulations to Zach Ward of the East Ringwood Football Club, last week's winner of the EFL TV Play of the Week. Some more great nominations this week, Peter Baird. Check these out and then head to the poll at efl.org.au to vote for your favourite.
98.1 Radio Eastern FM.
Whoa!
Big fly over the top. That's unfortunate. I wasn't looking at the time. Alex Frawley with a great mark.
We can't finish off an edition of EFL TV without some ordinary haircuts, and here's one of them from the South Belgrave Football Club, Frosty, as we continue our search for the best/worst haircut in the EFL.
Yeah, have a look at this one here from Dustin, and I don't mean dustbin, I mean Dustin Apps. This haircut, it's terrible, Dustin. You need to do some serious work. You've been sprouting it for a while, but seriously, get those clippers out, mate. Shave them off.
Well, there you have it, Frosty. We're coming up to week 11, another edition of EFL TV done and dusted, and the Choose Tap final series are just a matter of weeks away. Radio game this week, Mooroolbark taking on North Ringwood out there at Heights Reserve. EFL game day from 1 till 6 p.m. on 98.1 FM and efl.org.au as well. Frosty, been a pleasure. I'm sure you're looking forward to heading out to the beautiful suburb of Mooroolbark on Saturday afternoon.
Always love heading out to the leafy surrounds of Mooroolbark. It's going to be a fantastic clash between Mooroolbark and North Ringwood. Can't wait, mate.
Great stuff, Frosty. Catch up with you next week, and we'll see you on EFL TV next week.